price of freedom is death. We are coming to get our check.
Welcome, my brothers and my sisters. How we doing? Okay, I told you we're doing lives like every day for the last days of Black History Month, and we're gonna start by talking about how our culture, our foundational Black American culture, and really our whole ethnic group in the movement, the delineation, all of this, people are trying to rebrand this and manipulate this and tell us, or try to tell the world, how we're attacking them, because delineation is messing up a lot of their game plans, is messing up a lot of their finesses that they've been doing for generations. They've been doing these finesses since they got here, a lot of them since they got here. Now, when we say this, let me be abundantly clear to all of the new people, we're talking about the tether class of people. The tether class of people are immigrants, but they're not all immigrants. But the tether class of people are very, very problematic. And we've been just making sure that we have focused on our ethnic group. And with the tether class of people, what they've decided to do is they've decided to put out propaganda. The propaganda, the intent of it is to get the rest of the immigrants on board with the tethers. That's their big movement. They're trying to get the rest of the immigrants on board by making it seem as if immigrants blatantly are being attacked by FBA. And they're trying to get some of the FBAs who are, still lingering on to the remnants of Pan-Africanism and still have the hearts on their sleeves when it comes to the diaspora and everything like that. So much so that they're a little bit too blinded by their love for everybody and not logical enough to see the finesse. So that's what they're doing. So they're spreading propaganda that we're just like literally out here messing up their whole thing. We're agents of chaos. Let them tell it, okay? And they're literally out here doing it, so we're going to get started, all right? Shout out to y'all. If y'all can do me a solid and hit that like button, please, 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 and thank you.
Found out the real, but Traore had to cancel it when he found out the real situation that was on the ground.
Hold on.
But Traore had to cancel it when he found out the real situation that was on the ground. For those that this is about, this is a comment responding to Vladimir Putin opening the doors to all scientists. Russia now wants to start bringing in anyone who's got expertise. They want to build up their military, their tech, everything. So Russian president said they're creating an agency that will help facilitate people moving to Russia who have special expertise that they're looking for. And this comment says Burkina Faso definitely going. And 2 years ago, Burkina Faso started it. I can't remember what it was called. Damn it. But Burkina Faso started a program to bring back Black and African people. They had the list of all the careers they were looking for. They were looking for farmers. They were looking for nurses, doctors. They were looking for electrical engineers. They posted. But what Burkina Faso found out is the Black people who were signing up to go to Burkina Faso were not just regular Black people. These were FBA people working for the United States of America. So they had to cancel it. They found out, literally, Burkina Faso intelligence found out the number of Black people who were attempting to move to Burkina Faso. The number of them who worked for the US government, who were there as working for the CIA, like literally too many Black people from America were trying to go to Burkina Faso to destroy it for America. That's why Ibrahim Traore canceled that shit. FBA rhetoric is, as I told, that shit is more dangerous than you guys could possibly imagine, but nobody wants to talk about it because, but yeah, Burkina Faso did it, had to cancel it when he found out majority of the Black people that were going there not to help Africa succeed, but they were going there to help America. And I say those are all FBA niggas.
Okay. Y'all see that dangerous lying propaganda? FBA, we're going to Burkina Faso so we can sabotage it on behalf of the American government. Not a sitting. First off, he doesn't substantiate that at all because he can't, because that's a lie. That's a blatant lie, and he knows that's a lie. He knows that's not true. All right. We are not concerned with what Ibrahim Traore got going on with Burkina Faso, all of that stuff. No, as foundational Black Americans, I can't speak for everybody, but there's not been no collective organized group or agenda that's had any negative things to say about that. Now, I did do a live stream and I did criticize his partnership with Russia considering how anti-black Russia is. You want to get rid of the French. French people have been historically very anti-black and racist, so I understand that. But then replacing them with Russians when Russians are also anti-black, I just didn't see the logic in that. So I criticized that. And a couple of other FBA brothers and sisters did as well too. However, we understood that that was not our business. We understood whatever Ibrahim Traore got going on in Burkina Faso with Russia, with France, with whatever the case is, that's not our country. That's not our business. We're going to leave it alone. Okay. Now, for whatever reason, Ibrahim Traore pulled back or scrapped his whole plan of inviting people in, which, I'm going to be honest, from a strategic point of view, didn't really make that much sense anyway. The most logical reason he would have done that is because you're trying to set up South Africa and Burkina Faso. So there's a lot of infrastructure you need to build. You need to rebuild your government. You need to get stuff rolling. You need to get the ball rolling before you invite people over. Okay, have this mass blatant invitation of people over. You need to have things structured first. He sent out the invitations a little bit too early. So when he realized, like, hey, you know, right now we don't have really the conditions, because when you're asking people to come in, people are only going to want to come in if the conditions are somewhat sustainable. If you don't have sustainable conditions in your country, who's going to come? You're not going to get no doctors. Who's going to come to another country and live in unsustainable conditions, especially if that's not their people? You know, that's not going to happen. So logically, what most likely happened is that Ibrahim Traore, he was all like, you know what? I think we jumped the gun. We did things a little bit too early. Let me pull back. This tether is going to use this as an excuse to say FBA was working for the FBI and Ibrahim Traore found that out. How did he find that out? Where's your proof of that? Because when you talk about people working for COINTELPRO and all of that stuff, you need to show some type of proof. You need to show something. Where is your proof of that? He doesn't have any proof of that. So we're being blamed for Ibrahim Traore's mistake, because that was a mistake he made, which is why he pulled it back. It wasn't ready. He wasn't ready. But we're being blamed for that. I want us to understand that this is when we talk about how we're like the center of everybody's life, we really are. We have absolutely nothing to do. And he's saying that because they keep trying, and they've been trying this for years. They keep trying to put this CIA, COINTELPRO, FBI, secret organization label on foundational Black Americans. You see, it's not working. Nothing he says make any sense at all. We have no interest in helping America destabilize Burkina Faso or anything like that. We actually gave credit to Ibrahim Traore. We said, hey, much respect to South Africa. We were actually the ones pretty much among anybody. We were the ones actually giving them their props. We were the ones actually congratulating them. We were the ones saying, hey, man, I hope you do it right. We had some critique for the strategy, but we understood that that's their fight and that's their battle and they can fight it however they please. We had some critique and criticism, but besides that, we were the ones who was all like, hey, man, go ahead, do what you got to do. We were the ones doing that. Now, we said, that don't mean we jumping ship to help you. We ain't going to fly overseas to fight your battle, but hey, okay, I see you, brother, go ahead. So now it gets messed up and they find a way to blame it on us. I mean, talk about no accountability. Talk about no accountability at all. Speaking, y'all, of no accountability, let me show y'all this. Boy.
The delineation movement is causing a lot of discomfort in many circles around the world. Not only in America, but on the continent of Africa and in a lot of power centers around the world. You know, the delineators are really creating a lot of confusion, and the effects, the negative effects on, you know, those who are trying to expand their business or their trades or their, worldview to different parts of the world have hit a roadblock because the delineators have really caused people around the world to take a pause at the invitations and the expansions of, entry into certain parts of the world by the African American people.
He goes on, but we're gonna break that down. We're gonna break that down. What's going on is that the world is now having an updated interpretation or perspective. That's a better word for it. An updated perspective on Africa. Okay. Because let me be abundantly clear, foundational Black Americans, historically, we've been the ones championing Africa. We've been the ones making Africa look good. We've been the ones setting up movies and talking about Africa's being kings and queens and all of that stuff. I'm talking about from Coming to America with Eddie Murphy to the Remember the Times music video with Michael Jackson. We've been the ones making them out to be royalty and have rich culture and all of that stuff. We've been really their identity vanguards. We've been the ones protecting their identity and dignity because we were all, quote unquote, the same. Now that we've delineated from them, now that we're saying, hey, okay, all of our protection, all of our focus, all of that, we're just going to have for ourselves. And that removes this veil, that removes this cover that they've had. Are y'all following me? It removes the cover that they had. So now people are seeing the very raw version, a very raw version of them. On top of the fact that a lot of them, they come over here and they just started flexing. They started flexing, and we've done this for years, showing receipts for years about how they've been flexing. They've been talking about how they're smarter than us, they're more educated, they got better culture, they got better family values, all of this stuff. So what we've been saying is, okay, well, let's do a reality check. And because of our reality check, the whole world, because we're very influential people, the whole world is having an updated perspective of Africa. Notice the first thing he said is business, because we have a social currency around the world. Even though socially, economically, we might be at the bottom of the totem pole, our influence in our social currency is global and is rich and it's richer than everybody else's. So when we say, hey, no, we're making a very clear distinction, drawing a line in the sand, people are looking at them different than they're looking at us now. So people don't have, they're not getting that by proxy respect that they were getting when they were associated with us. So now people are like, I don't really know about that. On top of the fact that as foundational Black Americans, we've been prioritizing, patronizing Black American businesses. We've been saying, you know what, if we really want to get this Black Wall Street thing going, we need to keep the dollar circulating in the community. When we go to an African business, when we go to a Caribbean business, that dollar doesn't stay circulated in the community. If we want the dollar, and this is something, shout out to Dr. Claude Anderson, he's been talking about for years, if we want the dollar to stay circulating in the Black community, the same way they were doing with Black Wall Street, the multiple Black Wall Streets we've had. If we want that to happen, we need to keep the money in Black American businesses, because Black American businesses is what keeps the dollar circulating in the community. When you shop at businesses from outside of the community, and we've always called this out when it comes to Asians, Hispanics, Arabs, but we've now come to the realization that this is the same situation when it comes to Africans and Caribbeans, because they practice, and I've said this before, they practice the same economic practices that Arabs do. They practice the same type of economic gatekeeping that Asians do and that Hispanics do. They practice the same economic patterns and behavior that all of the other immigrants do. So now we're realizing, like, hey, man, We just going to have to keep the money in-house. If that's the way we keep it in the community, we're going to have to keep the money in-house. You have a lot of people, not only with the immigrants, you have a lot of people trying to not go to bigger franchises like Target. I mean, look what's going on with Target, like Walmart, like, these bigger franchises. We're trying to find substitutes, Black American substitutes for that. That hurts their dollar a lot. It really does. Because they don't, even though there's a bit here, they don't have the population numbers to really subsidize their business and have it flourishing and have it be very, very successful. They really don't. So they rely on us. And now that we are reprioritizing our spending habits, which is something that Dr. Claude Anderson has been trying to give us the game on for generations, we are reprioritizing our spending habits. Now all of them are at a loss. Now they're all like, hey, man, FBA is messing us up because we're delineating. And that means we're reprioritizing our lineage and making that the focal point, especially where we spend our money. And that's messing them up. So that's why he's mad. We're not doing nothing to Africa. We're not messing up or sabotaging anything from them, but they're mad about that. All right. That's what they're mad about.
Now, we have to make it clear that the African Americans are different from the FBAs. And let me tell you the difference. The FBAs are people who claim that they are from here originally. They have nothing to do with Africa. They are not people who have any connection to Africa. And so they want nothing to do with Africa. They go, a step further by insulting Africans and demeaning Africans and, describing Africans in National Geographic terms. Just, very, very negative ways. I'm an African. You won't see me on National Geographic. But the way they describe the Africans, it's very negative. They just are worse than the colonizer and how the colonizer described Africa. And then
okay. I want us to be very careful because we're seeing this a lot, and we're going to see this a lot this year because it's an election year. I want us to be very careful with that. Because what we're seeing is we're seeing them try to make this separate, and they've been always doing this, but we're seeing a lot of them trying to make the separation between African American. Notice, I said this a couple months ago, notice that there's been a huge resurgence of the term African American because they're trying to bring that term back up into relevance. Because for the last few years, the term African American has been kind of irrelevant. Nobody's been using that term. Now you're seeing a lot of them, a lot more using the term because they want to bring that term back up into relevance. Okay. He's trying to make a separation because he's trying to, for the uninformed people who might just be new to the movement, he's trying to be all like, well, you might be FBA, but you don't hate Africa, which we don't. I don't hate Africa. I don't hate African people. Okay. Now, if there is a tether who happens to be African, I'm not even going to say hatred. Okay. I don't have a hatred. Okay. But I'm going to check you. I'd hate your behavior, but I am going to check you. But you're a part of the tether class. But he's trying to make it seem as if there's just this blatant vitriolic disdain and animosity for Africa. So if somebody's looking at it like, oh my God, I'm a Black American, but I don't hate Africa, I must not be FBA. FBA means hating Africa. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Because if that's the case, then I guess Africa means hating Black American then, if you're going to label it blatantly like that. Nobody's doing anything to you all. Okay? Nobody's doing anything to nobody. Nobody hates nobody. We're saying we need to focus on our own stuff. He's getting mad because us focusing inward, us focusing on our own culture and our own community, that's messing up their bottom line. That's cutting them off. because they were always able to share resources. But now we're going to politicians saying, hey, we need these politicians and these legislations and policies and stuff to be specific. We don't need this to be distributed among every black person or person of color or anything like that. Now we're getting very specific with what we're doing and how we're moving, and that's cutting them off. That's what he's calling hateful, not because we're doing anything to them. All right. He's mad that he's getting cut off, and this is what they're mad about. And they're trying to create some separation because they know there's a few FBAs who are still on that Pan-African stuff. They know that, but okay. All right. They know it. But it's fading away, and there's nothing they can do. That's why you got to lie about it.
You have the African Americans are those who consider themselves to be descendants of Africa, descendants of the slave trade, descendants of people who can trace their roots from the motherland. And they are more sympathetic to the, Pan-African, struggle for black people, the power to the people kind of movements, the group of people who feel like all black people need to come together and work together. And they are the ones who, have been traveling to Africa, making connections with Africa and other parts of, the diaspora. But because of the FBA, a lot of African countries are taking a second look. They're like, okay, what are we dealing with here? What are we dealing with here? Because you don't want an FBA in your country. Because if somebody can look down on Africa and Africans, you don't want them in your country. These people could come to the country and be spies for the colonizer.
Notice that's the thing. No, and I played the first clip to say that. Notice that's the thing. Now they're blaming Africa because of quote unquote FBA spies. Mind you, they can't name any. I can give you a bunch of Candace Owens in this country. I can give you a bunch of Myron Gaines in this country. I can give you a bunch of Brian Donalds in this country. I can give you a bunch of Yvette Clarks in this country. I can give you a bunch of Obamas in this country. I can name off a whole bunch of Africans and Caribbeans and tethers that have come over here and messed up what we got going on and sabotaged what we got going on and worked alongside the oppressors. You can't name me any version of that going to Africa or going to the Caribbean. They're all doing all of this. There's CIA spies, there's FBA spies, and there's spies coming in. We got to be careful. You got to be careful of us. We the ones who needed to. That's projection. We the ones who needed to be careful of y'all for the longest. Y'all the only people with the track record of coming to somebody else's land and sabotaging them. Y'all the only ones with that.
Come to your country and cause more damage to your country. In terms of safety and security, because they don't consider themselves as Africans. So
okay, well, if that's the case, if we don't consider ourselves African, and here's the thing, let me get this off for a little bit because we're going to go into it just a little bit. Here's the thing. I don't think that collectively, I can't speak for everybody because there's no FBA leader, but collectively, foundational Black Americans, from what I've seen, do not deny that the transatlantic slave trade occurred. Okay, collectively, we don't deny that. We don't deny that there is an African lineage that exists within our lineage. We don't deny that. That is a root to a larger tree. Now, what we also are acknowledging is that due to the census and due to the DNA, and we've done this so many other times, there were a whole bunch of people here prior to 1619 that were involved in the slave trade, okay? There were a whole bunch of Aboriginal people here prior, and these are deeper roots to the same tree. We're not denying, if we had a tree, just visualize a tree. Everybody visualize. Can we get some trees in the chat room? Visualize a very, very big tree. I'm not denying that there is an African root to a tree. However, we all know that some roots go deeper than other roots. We understand that there is a root. However, we have deeper roots, follow me, that exists within here that was here prior to 1619. And we have research that has discovered this. We have scientific data that has discovered this. We have calculations of different census records that have discovered this. So we should acknowledge what we have discovered. That is what we do as a civilized group of people. When you learn something, now you have to update your file on what you've now learned, right? So if we were like, okay, there is that. However, we should acknowledge the deeper root. But collectively, we said that all these things put together has formed an ethnogenesis. And, unfortunately, we got some Europeans in somewhere, some European stuff, garbage. But anyway. Collectively, we had an ethnogenesis, which makes us different really from everything that there was before. It makes us different from everything there was before. So that's what we're acknowledging. We don't have I hate Africa, but no, what you're trying to do is trying to say this small little African root, that's the only thing that you can acknowledge, even though it was only about 3% of the entire Atlantic slave trade that was in North America, only about 3%. And even if you want to talk about the Caribbean slave trade and they were shipping, which didn't happen that much, but even if you want to talk about that wasn't no super huge percentage either. Most of them stayed down south. According to the census, we can contest this. We can contest the fact that all of them, or even most of the slaves, didn't come from the transatlantic slave trade. I mean, based off of the numbers, we can refute that, right? Does that deny that? No. We're just using math. We're just connecting the dots. And we're saying, you know what, when we connect this dot don't look like a rabbit. This dot look more like a tree. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're not going to connect the dots and then tell me it's something different. So we're connecting the dots instead of having you all connect the dots for us for the first time in a long time. Collectively, we are all connecting our own dots. That's what we're doing. That doesn't mean we want to sabotage nobody. We're not out here sabotaging anybody. All right. To be very honest with you, y'all have been the ones who've been telling us, come back to Africa, come back to Africa. What about the return to Africa thing where y'all were finessing people out money? Y'all had this return to Africa thing. All we saying is, hey, actually, before going to Africa, we need to focus on America. We need to focus on America. You don't have a whole bunch of FBAs chomping at the bit to go to Africa right now. So all of that, man, FBAs are going to Africa to sabotage it. No. Y'all begging us to go to Africa. We saying actually we need to stay here. We need to stay here for real. That's what we doing. All right. On top of that, y'all don't want FBAs in Africa. It's your country. You can do as you please. You don't want us there. You don't have to have us there. Okay. But can I just add this one thing? Y'all keeping that same energy with Asian people? I'm just curious. Are y'all keeping that same energy with Asian people? Because I've seen a whole bunch of videos of Asian people just coming over there acting like that's their country. I ain't seen y'all put belt to ass when it comes to Asian people going over there. I ain't seen that at all. I've seen Asian people, and the thing is that Asian people collectively are much smaller than y'all. And they kicking y'all, they Bruce Lee kicking y'all and karate chopping y'all all over the place. And y'all sitting up there running around in your country. I've seen that. So you don't want FBAs there, but Asians get there and they stood up swinging they nunchucks and chopping y'all down, and y'all ain't doing nothing about that. Okay, I'm just asking. Despite the fact that some countries and some tribes are making them the chief. Just saying. Y'all don't mind the Europeans going over there? Because Europeans go over there, y'all roll out the red carpet and y'all get to praising when they step off the airport and step off the plane. So I'm like, okay, all right. But FBA going there is the problem. Y'all have had historic Caucasians come to that country as ministers what they call it, ministries and stuff, and they've been on missions and they're missionaries and they've been injecting different diseases in y'all children and all of that stuff, and they've been experimenting on y'all, and y'all be coming up because they give y'all some rice, okay, and a bag of potatoes, and y'all sit up there, y'all praise them and act like they're heaven sent, they're angels coming over there, and they're going over there sterilizing the women and doing experiments on babies and stuff like that. But we the problem? I just want to know what the standard is. That's all I want to know. Like, if y'all don't want no problematic people, I would think that y'all would shut them out first, considering the history. Y'all can't name nobody who's done that to no. Y'all can't name an FBA who's done that to y'all. I just want to know where the standard is of, you know, the problematic people who've invaded Africa. I just want to know that. Okay. Let's finish this up.
African governments to think twice about who these people are. Because if you listen to the FBA, the things that they say is worse than the colonizer. And they could be a security risk to the safety and security of African.
Notice he doesn't say the things that we say that's worse than the colonizer. The things that we say that is worse than the colonizer. Now, on one hand, they will blame the colonizer. They will not take any accountability for their own homelands. They will blame the colonizer for when they flee. You have to understand, it's the government. It's not our fault. We have nothing to do with it. It's all the government's fault, and you have to blame them 100% for it. It's the colonizer who did it. Yet, when it comes to FBA, they always say that we're worse than the colonizer. So, damn, I mean, I'm talking about no accountability at all. The colonizer is why y'all fleeing, but FBA is worse. In what way? Y'all can't explain.
Countries. So the FBAs are causing more damage than they realize. So just keep watching and listening, because they're exposing who they are, and it's causing a lot more trouble and problems than you think. This is not just an internet phenomenon. This has become an international, worldwide issue, problem that they are causing. And I don't know what they're gaining from it, you know, running their mouth all over the internets. Now it is getting into, real life, and people are taking a second look at who exactly are these people. So stay tuned.
Boy, I think it's so interesting. I think that's so interesting, right? Don't you think it's interesting? Because they were saying a few years ago, oh, that FBA stuff, oh, that's only online. Nobody in real life is an FBA. You don't know nobody in real life who's calling them an FBA. FBA, that's only online. You guys are only online. That small fringe group of people online. You're not in real life. You don't really matter. You're just making noise online. Now they're saying we're a whole international issue. We're some type of global catastrophe that needs to be stopped for the safety and the prosperity of Africa. It's crazy how much difference a day makes, doesn't it? We went from being Russian bots that nobody listens to. They were making memes about how we're angry people in our mom's basements. We're Russian bots in our mom's basements. Now we're some international terroristic organization working for the CIA to sabotage Africa. That's crazy. That transition from internet bots and an internet meme to a global catastrophe is incredible. That's an incredible difference. Let's get to the super chats real quick. All right. Shout out to the super chats. It says, Bebe says, hey, internet nephew, can't stay long. Proud of you. Keep pushing. Thank you very much, internet auntie. I appreciate you. Thank you. All right. That one brother says, keep pushing, fam. Oh, I got you. Yes, indeed. I will for sure. Tell it like it is says, I think we made everything much less confusing since we, granted them their wish and delineated. Keep in mind, they were the ones who were always delineating. They were the ones who were always on this type of time. We're just now getting on board. To be honest, we got a lot of catching up to do. They've been the ones who've had their Nigerian Independence Day, their Haitian Flag Day, their Puerto Rican Flag Day. They've been the ones on that type of time. We ain't been on that type of time. Okay. And it wasn't a problem when they did it, but now it's a problem because we're doing it. Okay. Just keep that in mind. Okay. And then he continues to say, now they have to close up of what real, now they have a close up of what real delineation looks like. And that's true. They're glitching out. Oh, they tweaking. They saying we international terrorists with no proof. With no proof. I'm talking about that's a wild projection. Okay, Buttercup says can't trust FBAs in Africa, but can trust the Chinese. LOL. Man, please. You don't see no type of videos. All of the people talking about how FBA is messing up. Do you see any type of videos of them talking about how Asians are messing up their country? Do you see any type of videos of them talking about how they need to remove the Asians from their country? Do you see any of those type of videos? Or do you see the only time they get angry is at us and with us? That's the only time. You never see them get mad. They don't really even mind. To be honest, they don't mind. They don't got no issue with that. Buttercup again says, after 10 generations, there is no detectable shared DNA. Let me see. We're not the same people, even from a biological standpoint, according to science. Yeah, of course, when you've been removed and out, mixed in with different people, and that time span has stretched for centuries, yes, you're going to biologically be different people. I said this on my last live stream. If you take a sample, just random sample of foundational Black Americans, take a blood sample, and then go anywhere in the continent and take a blood sample from any African, I'm talking about all the way from the top to the bottom, all the way from South Africa, all the way up to Egypt. If you go anywhere in between and you take a blood sample, they will be able to scientifically tell the difference without even knowing who is who. Once they did their studies and they've come back with their results, they'll be able to say, okay, well, this person's from Africa and this person's from America because our blood is different. Okay. That's what it is. I mean, come on now. We're not going to lie. We're not going to lie about that. Notice how they're blaming us and shift all of that stuff. Now, speaking of which, and I hate to keep bringing this up. Where is this at? We got to get to this one. Because there's just so much we got to prove with this statement right here. I know y'all sick of hearing her, but oh boy, we got to bring up the filthy Haitian again. We got to bring her up again. Briefly, I'm not gonna hammer you guys. I'm not gonna make you guys listen to the whole thing like that. Hold on. All right, there we go.
I'm Haitian. Why? Where you from? What's your background? You American? Dirty Black American?
Wait, what?
Huh? What?
Wait, what you
American?
say?
Black American? What?
No. Hold on. You said dirty Black American.
You heard that? You just asked me what I said. I did.
Why you said that?
Because that's what y'all are. Dirty Black American.
All right. Now, y'all know we've been giving them the business. And you've had people come out there and they say, well, she's not the representative. You can't blame all of us. You can't blame all of us. But we're seeing a collective behavior stemming from all of you guys. And what's crazy is we're seeing this behavior not even just from Haitians or Caribbeans. We're seeing this behavior from everybody. Okay.
Of the Haitian woman.
And the reason why I want to prove this is because I want to prove to you guys that there is a immigrant loyalty, this unspoken immigrant loyalty that they have to each other. They have this loyalty and they don't speak on it. And we're really gonna go there. They have this loyalty, they don't speak on it. And when it comes to us calling them out and holding them accountable, they jump in front of it. Now, this immigrant loyalty only extends to attacking us. That's the only time you see any type of immigrant loyalty. Okay. Besides that, in their homelands, ain't no immigrant loyalty. None whatsoever. Can't find a lick of immigrant loyalty in their homelands. The only time that there's some type of immigrant loyalty is when it comes to us, and when it comes to tethering behavior. It's really a tether loyalty. It's not even an immigrant. It's really a tether class loyalty that we have to always go through every time we try to hold somebody accountable. Look at this.
Called Black Americans Dirty. And I just wanted to add my own perspective to this whole situation. But before we get into this TED Talk, I'm West African, from Sierra Leone to be exact. Yeah.
She's West African. Now listen, she's West African. She has no real stake in the issue, but she's an immigrant. So she feels some type of way about it because she understands that when you talk about Haitians or whatever, there's a low-key sentiment of immigrants in general that follows that.
First of all, what she said was wrong. Let's start there. Calling somebody dirty based on their ethnicity or nationality is straight up wrong. Like, it's weird, it's unnecessary, and it's very ignorant. But I really need y'all to be honest. Did y'all watch the full clip? Like, seriously, did y'all watch the full clip? Or y'all just going based on a little clip that was said? Because if you watch the whole video, she also stated Haitians are dirty black Haitians too, after the guy asked her, so what are Haitians then? Now let's get this clear. I'm not defending her. I'm just saying context matters in this whole situation that's going on.
Anytime somebody says, I want y'all to understand this going forward. Anytime somebody says, okay, let me just be clear, I'm not defending them, 9 times out of 10, the following statement is a defense. Just so y'all know, moving forward, anytime somebody says, I just want to be clear, I'm not going to defend this person, everything else is going to be a defense. All right, just so you know.
Okay, what I'm seeing on my timeline is people reacting to a 10-second part of a video and running with it. You get it? Like, and because people didn't watch the whole video, now this whole thing became...
Now she's making it seem like in the rest of the video, which a lot of people did watch, she's making it seem as if either what we heard from her was taken out of context, like they were in the middle of a conversation or a debate and she said that. We saw she walked in and barely got to sit down before she called somebody a dirty black American, and said it a few times. She said it several times before he asked, well, what are Haitians then? And then she said, well, dirty Haitians too. And she said that knowing that she doesn't really mean that. But she said that to say, well, technically I called everybody dirty. Okay, nobody took anything out of context, and she didn't apologize. She's making it seem like we don't know what happened. We know what happened. And even if she did, she still didn't have the right to say that. And she still needed to be checked for saying that.
A whole Haitian versus black American.
But I want you to understand, I want you guys to clock. She briefly said, well, you know what? She was wrong. And then the remainder, which is the longer part of the video, gets to talking about us. And this is what they all have done. They've said, okay, well, you know what? She's wrong. She doesn't dive in. She doesn't condemn her. She doesn't really drag her through the mud. She doesn't really go in like that. She was, you know, she was like incorrect. You know, she could have been nicer. That was a little rude. It was a little rude. But you guys, oh my God, you guys are just pure evil. Why are you guys doing her like that? Oh my God, you guys are hateful and xenophobic. That's how they all go. Watch, bet money that she's not going to do that. Bet.
Thing. And this is where I'm going to say something very uncomfortable.
Here it comes.
Some of the responses I'm seeing on my TL, it don't feel like correction. Like you guys are trying to correct her. It feels like a release, like oh, I can finally say what I want to say. Like, you know, when someone been having hatred in their heart for you and they finding the right time to spew out that hate for you. I feel like this is what it is, because the things that I'm seeing on my TL it don't feel like correction at all. It just feel like, yeah, this is the perfect time to talk shit. Like, some people have been sitting on opinions about Haitians for a long time, and they finally find a safe excuse to let it out. That's what it's giving. That's the part that's bothering me.
So we just been holding this hatred and animosity, and we've been waiting on this quote unquote, notice how she does the air quotes, excuse. Waiting on this excuse. Now you're going to bypass her behavior to now condemn us for our behavior. Now that woman didn't use being on a platform as an excuse to blurt out and her real opinions. Okay. But now we're using our defense of our lineage as an excuse to hate on. We just been holding it in and just waiting on her to mess up. Okay. As an excuse. Just notice that that's that immigrant loyalty, that tether loyalty we're talking about.
Because now it's not about one ignorant woman. It's now about, oh, Haitians are this, Haitians are that. Like that is not fair at all. I don't think it's fair. Because I'm seeing videos of people saying Haitians eat dirty cookies. Like, if you put 2 and 2 together, y'all was waiting for a perfect time to talk shit about Haitians. Like, you was holding all this hatred in your heart for Haitians. And now that one person called Black American dirty, now it's a war. Like, oh yes, I can finally talk shit about Haitians, because it's not giving correction at all. Like, it's really not. Like, if you really look at the bigger picture here, it's not giving correction. You guys are not trying to correct her. You guys want to talk shit about Haiti, and you found the perfect time to talk about it.
Listen, listen, let me tell you something. If we wanted to talk about Haiti, we could do that. We don't need no excuse. That's the difference. We don't need no excuse to talk about nobody in our homeland. We could talk about anybody anytime we wanted to. We don't need her to say that. If we wanted to, if we just had this collectively, we just had this built up animosity for Haiti, we could have just did that. We didn't need her. We didn't need her. Okay. No, this is correction. Y'all wouldn't know about that. That's why y'all had to flee, because y'all don't know how to correct people. Y'all don't know how to correct bad behavior. That's why y'all had to leave, because your homelands is dilapidated, and y'all getting y'all feelings when we say that. But this is the reason for it, because y'all don't know how to correct things. We do. Don't check us. We the only people who got any motion going on. So don't check us. We know what we doing. Oh, y'all been waiting on y'all opportunity. Okay. Notice how the anger she's showing in this video is towards us and our response to the offense, not to the offense itself. She just disagreed with the offense, but now she's going to police the response because of the tether loyalty they have.
Like, one woman does not represent an entire...
Now, mind you, she said she was from West Africa, right? If that Haitian woman was to go up there and talk about West Africa the way she talked about Black Americans, she would not be, and Africa was going in on her, she wouldn't be saying a damn thing. If that woman was to talk about her country, she wouldn't be saying anything. But the thing is that she's not bothered by what she said about Black Americans. She's not bothered. She's only bothered by the response that we have. Now, she said she disagreed, which I doubt. I doubt she even disagrees fully.
Country of over 11 million people, okay? Just like how one podcast clip does not represent all Black Americans. And as a West African, I'm literally watching this whole thing like, why are we doing this to each other? Like, seriously. Like, we already deal with enough from outside of the community. Now we're using one viral moment to justify tearing each other down. Like, really? Like, the woman apologized, and you don't have to.
I didn't hear one, and even if she did, so what?
Accept it. But turning this into a whole nationality war is really baffling. Like, it literally doesn't solve anything. It don't. Like, seriously. But don't use her ignorance as an opportunity to finally say what's been sitting in your heart about Haitians.
Okay, all right. We're just gonna end it there. She has some more. But notice what they're saying. Notice the belittling words. When you say it's ignorance, ignorance means not knowing. Saying something out of ignorance is saying something without knowledge of. Saying something, she might have said something really stupid or stereotypical out of ignorance or curiosity or anything like that. Calling us dirty, saying that's what y'all are. Y'all dirty Black Americans. Y'all are dirty Black Americans. That's not ignorance. Notice how what they do is, that's one little small ignorant clip that was taken out of context. Now what we're doing is, oh, y'all been plotting. I can tell y'all been plotting, y'all been hating, y'all been boiling up with all of this hatred of Haitians for no reason, and y'all just been waiting on an excuse to call her out of her name and say they eat mud cookies. Notice that when they do it, it's ignorance that's taken out of context. When we do it, it's vile hatred that we've been stirring up for generations and waiting for an excuse to spew on that community. Notice how they frame it. They're framing it that way. No, it's not ignorance. And we're going to show you that's not the one single clip. That's not one single time. This is something they've been on. They've been on this. Remember this?
I don't want to hear, when I'm asking general questions, I'm not asking y'all niggas. Stop dick riding. Y'all niggas is black. You're black. You're just black.
Just be yourself and hit them with hey. Also, I just bought the Anarchy hoodie yesterday. Can't wait. Finna resubscribe in a little W female viewer. Big 2 months December 9th.
Thank you so much. Bro, you're just fully American. You're African American, bro. That's it. How was that see you in 30? That wasn't an insult. That was strictly you're black. You're not Trinidadian. You're not Jamaican. You're not African. You're not word. You're not Ghanaian. You're not Dominican. You're not Puerto Rican. You're not Cuban. You are American.
I farted so loud.
All right. This is something that they've been on. We're not going to sit up there and make it seem like that. Oh, that one little thing. Y'all just taking that one little video and we've never said anything close to that before. Why are you guys doing this to us?
I'm sorry. I can't do Americans. I need somebody with culture. I'm sorry.
Black Americans got culture. Americans got culture.
Keep rolling. I need somebody with some culture.
Americans don't have culture.
I got culture.
We got the culture. We are the culture.
Who the culture?
We are the culture. Globally, they know about Black Americans.
No, hold on. We not
globally, they know about Black Americans.
But you gotta remember 1804, baby. I'm the one that won American.
We're not gonna use the word American.
Yeah, Black Americans.
I ain't gonna hold you.
We are the culture. 1804, I'm the reason why you have your independence.
That's the part I hate about
Haitians was the first free independent country. First black free independent.
That don't got nothing to do with America.
That's nice. I'm just letting you know the reason why y'all have your independence.
Y'all coming over here because of us, because of the hard work that Black Americans do.
You know Haiti is like in debt for $1 trillion years because
you know why? Because the French owe us how much?
So y'all got your independence for what?
What?
Wait, when you say Haiti's the reason Americans got their independence, what do you mean by that?
Kylie gonna cook me for that.
Okay, I'm just letting it be known. Let's make it abundantly clear. This is what they've been on. Let's make it abundantly clear. This is what they've been on. Let me show you this one thing. I don't have it all cropped out, y'all, so it don't look all pretty. But hold on. Let me show y'all this. Hold on. Do y'all remember? There was one incident. Let me show y'all. I unfortunately didn't have it all cropped out the way I wanted it to. Okay, hold on. Jeez. Okay. Yeah, where is it at? Where is it at? Here it is. This one. Okay. Oh, right here. Y'all can't see it. It's not all cropped out the way it's supposed to be. But it says POV. Your Black American friend asked you to take them to Haitian Flag Day. This is a Haitian saying your Black American friend asked you to take them to Haitian Flag Day.
Hell no. Fuck no. Fuck no.
Okay, all right, hold on.
Hell no. Fuck no. Fuck no.
All right. Not that we sitting up there biting and doing that to get to Haitian Flag Day like that anyway. But let me be abundantly clear. They've been on this. They've been on this. We ain't gonna sit up there and act like we just jumping out the window off this one little clip. This has been a collective pattern of behavior that we've experienced. And crazy is Haitians, y'all been very loud among the Caribbeans. Haitians have been very loud. Y'all been loud to be, from my experience, Haitians have been the most loud out of the Caribbean. Then following that is Jamaicans. Of the Caribbean, it's been Haitians been the most loud of the Caribbeans. So now that y'all getting y'all accountability, now that we sitting up there holding y'all feet to the fire, y'all making it seem like y'all just taking that one little, and we never said anything like that before. Y'all taking that one little clip out of context. Let me show y'all. Come on, let me show y'all. This woman over here, I had to pull this up on the website. So when we go to TikTok, hold on. Let me get this off the screen. When we go to TikTok, this is what they've been on. This woman who's Haitian, and this is like a part of Haitian or Caribbean TikTok or whatever the case is, whatever they call it. The caption over here says, I turned it down because there's some music and I don't want there to be music. She's Haitian. She says, when the Haitians call me they or nay, however it is, Black American, because I wasn't born in Haiti and don't know how to count from 1 to 100 in Creole. And they is like their derogatory term for dirty. Or it's a derogatory pejorative. It's a slur that they have. Okay, actually, I think this one doesn't have it. Hold on.
I'm not a scammer. I told you I'm not a scammer. You don't understand? I said I'm not a scammer. I'm not a scammer. I'm not a scammer. I'm not a scammer, guys.
They don't want to be a Black American, okay? You see that? Let me show you something else. That's a term that they've used. When we talk about Akata and all of the other terms, they don't like the fact that we know what that is. Because that defeats their narrative that we've been hating on them. Because they can say tether, but we just came up with tether. Tether is a brand new tether is a baby. The term tether is what? 5 years old. Maybe it's 2026, maybe about 6 years old. The term tether. They've been calling us Akata. The term Akata is generations. The term Akata, Yvette, not Yvette, Yankee, all of that stuff, Jareer, all of that stuff. Though they've been using those terms for decades now. Oh no, y'all not. The fact that we know it catches you guys up. Here's another Haitian woman using that term. Okay, this is the same term. Okay, when your Haitian mother thinks you're gonna settle down with a Haitian church man, but I'm in love with Yave, Black American, and boy, I was practicing pronouncing this name. Okay. Vacabon. I don't know what that means, but notice the whole Yave, Black American. That is a term that they've used. Now I gotta take this down. Hold on, because I don't want the music. But yeah, they got their little secret terms that they refer to us as, their secret derogatory terms and things like that they refer to us as, and they've been having that for a long time. That's not this not nothing new. They've been on that. I'm letting everybody know they've been on that. This is how they've been acting. So now that we calling it out, now that we saying, you know what, that behavior, we're not going to tolerate that behavior no more, and we calling them out for that behavior. Now they're sitting up there making it seem as if, oh my God, you guys are doing us so wrong, and we ain't never did anything to you guys like this before. No, the problem y'all have is that we keep receipts too well. That's what y'all got a real issue with. We keep receipts way too well, and y'all not able to get away with the stuff y'all able to get away with from the past. Y'all not able to get away with that. Hold on. It was one other thing. Hold on. Okay. All right. Y'all not able to get away with that. Some of them have made the excuse that woman is not actually really Haitian. That woman is something else. Now I want to show y'all this. this one last thing. Y'all can bear with me. Can y'all please hit that like button too? Can y'all please hit that like button? This is one last thing. When I tell you guys, watch y'all friends, watch who you guys befriend, I want y'all to listen to this.
Black people, what she called them, black, dirty black. So y'all remember the podcast where the Haitian woman was calling black people, what she called them, black, dirty black Americans. So I have a Haitian friend, and I'm going to get his take on that topic. 1 second. Okay, so this is my Haitian friend, Carl. He's from Haiti. So what do you think about the girl calling people dirty black Americans? You're Haitian. What do you think?
Why was she calling them dirty black Americans?
She said because that's what we are.
Just to say it.
I guess you want a cloud. I don't know, but you're Haitian. Can you explain that? Do they really call us that?
No, she called y'all that. Just her. I've never called anyone a dirty black American. I don't know why she called black Americans dirty. She probably had a bad experience with y'all. As do most Caribbeans do have bad experiences with black Americans.
You see that? That's her quote unquote friend. Her quote unquote friend is immediately, before seeing the video or anything like that, immediately trying to justify it. Oh, why did she do it? Why? Oh, she probably had a bad experience with y'all, as most of us do. Okay, just keep listening.
Have you ever had a bad experience with a black American?
All the time.
But you don't consider them as dirty black Americans, though, do you?
They just I feel like black Americans lack unity. I feel like I can meet a Haitian of any age, from any background, and automatically when they find out I'm Haitian, they're protecting me in the room. Some way, somehow. They're looking out. They're making sure.
Are black people?
Huh?
Are black people, or you're the Haitians? The
Caribbeans,
okay.
Jamaicans, like they see another Caribbean in the room, they looking out for them. Just like white people could see they friend applying for the job, they gonna make sure the white friend good. Just like the Spanish people stick together and they family members want to live in the same house and always be together. Vivi hang out with all her sisters all the time. Foreigners stick together.
So you saying
black Americans don't
stick together? They be against one
another.
another.
Oh yes, it be for the may the best win. It be a doggy dog world. They're not. They're not about unity. They're not about unity. And for that, as a black American, as a Caribbean, experiencing that from a black American, and you're always used to black people always like wanting to be one, and then you see like the Americans are not like that. It's like wait.
If that ain't the biggest, I'm gonna just pause it right there. Y'all wouldn't even be here. Y'all wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for black American unity. We've been the only people who've been on this unity thing. We've been the only people who, before now, waving the Pan-African flag. Anytime you see a Pan-African flag, there was, a point in time not too long ago where you could drive around and you'd see a Pan-African flag in the window or somebody, you knew that was a black American. You knew that. You knew that because everybody else was waving their flag. They were not waving the Pan-African flag. Nobody else. We was getting tattoos, and not when I say we, I mean collectively the lineage. There were people in the lineage getting tattoos of Africa and Pan-African stuff like that. They were never on that. They were never on that. They're not on that back in their homeland. They're not on that when they come here. They have their own little enclaves when they come here, and they have their own little Haiti. Notice little Haiti, not little Caribbean, not little immigrant. It's little Haiti. They're not on that when it comes to unifying with everybody. They never been on that. And yet she asked him a question, and now she can actually find out what he really thinks of black Americans. Now he's letting his true feelings about black Americans out. And apparently this has been the consensus. There's a general consensus among a lot of them about this. So when we say we're getting on this woman and holding her accountable, or we're our perception of you all has been updated, y'all making it seem like it's just one small little video that didn't mean anything. No. It's because we're starting to recognize all of y'all. And we're starting to say, hey, you know what? We've been noticing that there's a collective narrative that exists with y'all culture. He was probably super nice, super friendly, all of that. But internally, deep down, he's been thinking this. Y'all been on this. This ain't nothing new. Let's let him finish.
Oh, we was on the same team. You know?
But that still didn't give her reason to call us dirty Black Americans. And
Yeah,
then
no,
when
no,
they
no,
asked
no,
her,
no, I
what did
wouldn't-
she say? She said it loud and clear. I mean, because y'all are dirty Black Americans.
Yeah, she probably did it for clout. I don't know why, but she probably had a bad experience. But most Caribbeans have like really bad experiences with Americans, just because of like the difference of upbringing. It's not right, but it's not right. But she definitely had a bad experience. But I've had bad experiences too. But I don't call y'all dirty.
Right.
I call y'all trifling. Boom.
You know what? Okay, guys.
I don't know what was funny. Not sure why she laughed. Now I don't know what was funny with that. You need to be careful what your friends are, who your friends are. I don't know. I mean, she was cracking up. I don't know why she found that so funny. Because he literally just dissed you in your whole lineage. I don't know if you caught that, but he really just did that. Okay? And let you know how he thinks of you. It's like almost what that video is like that one white friend who's cool with a black friend, and they real cool. He's real nice, real cordial. And then next thing you know, you be like, what do you think of black people? Well, I think y'all are kind of ghetto. I think y'all are kind of trifling. I think y'all don't unify, and y'all don't do this, and y'all don't do this, and y'all don't do this. Yeah, that's what he's been thinking collectively of your people. He might be cool with you as an individual, but we need to be thinking beyond that. We need to think beyond what they think of us as an individual. What do you think of my people collectively? Because you're not going to sit up there and separate me entirely from my people. You might say I'm one of the good ones, so you can be cordial with me, but you just got a window into his mind about what he thinks of Black Americans collectively. And this is what we're saying. We're checking all of this because we got receipts, and I can spend all day long, all day, giving you guys receipts, but I don't have to because y'all know it. Y'all know it. This is a collective narrative that they have that exists within their culture, not just Haitians either, that exists within their culture. And now for the first time, we're holding it accountable. We're holding them accountable. Okay. And we're raising the issue. We're speaking on it, and we're not being unapologetic about it. Okay. We're not being soft. We're not being coy. We're telling the truth, the honest truth, the unapologetic truth about it. We're not sitting up there being obtuse and pretending like we don't know. So yeah, we're not doing that no more. I'm gonna get to the super chats real quick. All right. Shout out to super chats from Lorraine. I see your super sticker. Thank you very much, Lorraine. I appreciate you. And then Eve, I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. Shout out to you. All right. Shout out to everybody in here. Shout out to I want to understand, as foundational Black Americans, it take a while for us to get to this point. We get into this point where we tolerate absolutely no disrespect. We like on site. If you got a foundational Black American, collectively, you have us culturally on site when it comes to disrespect, and we get at it instantly. It took us a long time of doing that. It's a lot of broken trust. It's a lot of betrayal. It's a lot of disrespect that's got us fed up to the point where we're very, very defensive when it comes to our lineage. Okay. It took us a minute to get to this point. It took us a while. It took us a while. But now we on that. Because now we realize what y'all want. That's her friend, according to her. According to her, if he talks like that to you in your face, what do you think he talks about when he's back at home? When he's back at home, what do you think he talks about when you're not around? And that's your quote unquote friend. We got to be careful, y'all. But all of this, it just shows and it verifies to everybody that we were never the bad guys. We were never doing nothing wrong. All right. We were never doing nothing wrong. We get to the rest of these super chats. David said, isn't fleeing a form of separation? I think it is, which is the opposite of unity. FBAs fight and stay while tethers run away. That's, hey, you ain't lied. You ain't told a single lie yet. No, you telling the honest to God's truth. They separate from their homelands. They want us to fight ICE because they don't want to go back. Talk about some unity. Crystal says we have no allies. We got each other. That's all we need. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but we got each other. We next says, salam, warrior brother and family in the chat. Now, salam to you. Thank you very much. I appreciate you, brother. Appreciate y'all. Now, all right now. We know what we're doing. We know what we're doing. But come back because tomorrow still is Black History Month, Foundation Black American History Month. So we still got to handle our business tomorrow. So what I need y'all to do, hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button. And then hit that notification button. Hit all of the buttons. Hit all of the buttons. All right? Hit all of that. I appreciate y'all sincerely. Thank you very much. We're clearing up all of the negative rumors and all of that stuff. We're not out here doing nothing to African people. We're not sabotaging Africa. We're not doing none of that. If anybody's doing any type of sabotaging, it's y'all. And now y'all getting clocked on it. And now y'all projecting. And we're not doing that no more. We're not falling for the propaganda. We're here to clear that up. So that's what we're doing. But this will conclude tonight's live stream. I appreciate you all. Black first salute to every single last one of y'all on this glorious Foundation Black American History Month. Thank you all for listening. Shout out to the live listeners. Shout out to the recorded listeners. Thank you all very much. I will catch you guys later and y'all stay blessed.